occasion in the life of the Liberian People's Party. We have come today to enlightening the Liberian people and the Liberian government. We are here to advise the government to increase revenue and reduce debts and finances social programs. LPP wants the Liberian peoples to stop suffering under this government. This country has a lot of resources for us to suffer. So today, we as Liberian People's Party, one of the greatest grassroots parties in this country, we have come today to let the Liberian peoples know that they are suffering because of our government. LPP will always give good ideas to this government, so to enable the Liberian people to live in an enabling environment. Now, we would like to formally call our dynamic chairman, in presence of Honorable J. Nyankwe Zeze, to deliver the speech to the press and the Liberian people.
Manda,
await,
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 manda,
await.
Equal access to opportunities. Intellectual chairman, Zayo. LPP is committed to a better team. Zayo. Committed to critical ideas. Zayo. Manda.
Good afternoon to all, and good afternoon to everyone in radio land, TV land, and to the people of the world, especially the poor people. We came here today to read an open letter to our lawmakers. So we want to recognize the principal players of our legislative branch. Honorable Yombi Tanga Lawrence, President Pro Tem of the Liberian Senate, House of Senate, Capital Building, Monrovia, Liberia. Honorable Councillor J. Fanati Kofa, Speaker of the House of Representatives, Capital Building, Monrovia, Liberia. Levied 10% tax on export, raw material, iron ore, for example, gold, and reduce debts. That's the appeal to our lawmakers and the Liberian government. Today's date, September 19, 2024. The Liberian People's Party, LPP, urgently appeals to our lawmakers to impose a 10% export tax on raw materials such as iron ore, rubber, diamonds, and gold. By implementing this tax, Liberia can begin reducing its existing debt of USD 2.3 billion, as well as mitigate the impact of new debts from anticipated loans, including 1, the proposed USD 714 million investment, likely through loans for agriculture. 2, a projected USD 209 million loans from the International Monetary Fund, IMF. And 3, promised loans from China and others. This tax is essential because, as per the World Bank's 2019 study, foreign investors have been paying minimum taxes. For example, ArcelorMittal, one of the largest investors in Liberia, has not contributed a significant share of its profit despite earning USD 4.6 billion, USD 5 billion, USD 4.9 billion in 2017, 2018, and 2019 respectively. In contrast, like ordinary Liberians are taxed on nearly every basic goods, including water, bread, nails, and most imports. This inequality must be addressed. So we look at a partial view of tax imposed on items as per the Liberian Revenue Code. The Revenue Code 3.0 states public notice, imposition of excise tax on imported bread, biscuit, wire nail, mineral water. So we go through the chart. Bread, 10 cents per kilogram. Biscuit, 40 cents per kilogram. Wire nail, 20 cents per kilogram. Mineral water, 10 cents per liter. Zinc, 15%. If you buy a bundle of zinc, how much you pay? The tax that will go to the government is 15%. Cement, 10 cents kilogram. Candle, 15%. Plastic basin, 15%. Plastic bowl, 15%. Plastic bucket, 15%. Plastic dustbin, 15%. Plastic drum, 15%. Now look. Plastic baby bath tub, 15%, mothers. Plastic baby food basket, 15% you pay, but the tax on export is 0.
Insistence to impoverish our people. Taking money from the poor people, giving it to the rich people. People that supposed to pay tax, not paying tax, they're walking free while the poor people paying tax.
Let's look at the history in terms of records. 1926, Firestone Concession Agreement, the export tax on rubber was set at 1%, but today it's 0. 1926, the companies were paying 1% on exported goods, but today it is 0. 1984 report by Castle. In 1983, 1984, the export tax on rubber was temporarily removed, but reinstated in 1984, 1985 at a rate of 15 to 25 cents per pound. That was during Doe time. 25 cents per pound was on rubber. Today it is 0. 2000 Liberian Tax Code Section 706 stipulates that where no specific value is fixed by law, a custom duty can be levied on exported goods. That was in 2000. Today, export tax is 0. But what is an export tax? What is it? An export tax is the fee imposed on goods shipped out of a country. In Liberia's case, companies such as Bridgestone, Firestone parent, and Avaroso Resources, parent of Beer Mountain, will be responsible for paying the tax on their exported raw materials, not Liberians and not Firestone. It is Bridgestone and the parent company of Beer Mountain will be paying the tax.
On the contrary, labor worker paying the tax for Firestone. You're not supposed to be so. You impoverish our people politically, you impoverish them economically.
The debate over export taxes. The pros and cons of taxing export are widely discussed, especially when finished goods are involved. Opponents argue that export taxes can make goods more expensive leading to potential job losses. However, this argument does not apply to raw materials like rubber and iron ore in Liberia, which have only one buyer. One. For example, Firestone exports its natural rubber exclusively to Bridgestone's tire plants in North America and Europe, as confirmed by Bridgestone's American Press Center, March 12, 2024. ArcelorMittal Steel follows similar arrangement. In essence, these companies are selling to their parents. They're not in the market. So there should be no fear that there will be market problem. Now, can companies afford a tax? If you are in an economy, when you're imposing a tax, you got to ask yourself, can a company afford it? Yes is the answer. They can. Large corporations such as Bridgestone can absorb the tax as part of their overall production cost. For example, if Bridgestone can write off USD $1 million in advertising expenses, it can certainly manage an additional US 11 million in export taxes without passing significant costs onto customers. Liberians should not continue to bear the bulk of tax burden while foreign investors enjoy tax exemptions on their raw materials. Now, what is the expected revenue? A 10% tax on export would generate an estimated USD 155 million from just 3 major companies, using numbers from the Central Bank of Liberia's 2022-2023 annual report. You will get 60 million from the selling of metric tons of iron ore at $120 per ton. You will get 85 million from selling 438,491 ounces of gold sold at 1,942 per ounce. You will get 11 million from selling 63,211 kilograms of latex sold at 1,065 per kilogram. The World Bank's 2029 study concluded that despite Liberia's rich natural resources, especially in iron ore, rubber, gold, and diamonds, the country collects minimum public revenue from these sectors.
Mr. Banga, stop breaking the resources and yes, we ask the government to neutralize the opportunity of putting export tax. Start impoverishing our people.
LPP believes revenue from the tax on export will reduce Liberia's debts, as well as reduce the possibility to impose tax on rice importation, as Sierra Leone is reported to be contemplating. Rice riot, we don't want that. It appears to be an undesirable project, but it is a necessary revenue to be used in financing the social cement that binds a community together, according to Mr. Scar S. Su. Recommendation: the Liberian People's Party calls on our lawmakers to review and enact the recommendations submitted by the Liberian Revenue Authority under the leadership of His Excellency George Manuel Weah. The Domestic Revenue Mobilization Strategy 2018 to 2022 studies recommended that Liberia should establish a precious metal marketing company, PMMC, in ensuring better control and higher value for Liberia's gold and diamond resources. The study included information about Ghana, which owns 100% share of similar company. Recommendation number 2. The Liberian People's Party recommends that all revenue from the 10% tax imposed on export goods should be used exclusively for investment capital. Again, the 10% tax revenue from there should be used for investment capital, not for wages and salaries. Government is the place to serve and not to steal. A better Liberia is possible.
LPP.
Thank you.
Hello. Go ahead. I'm going.
Question and answer. No. 5 questions.
Okay. If there's another question, maybe we can take 3.
Yes, I'm a little bit concerned. My name is Prince. I report for Pram FM and Focus on Liberia TV. So, from your press statement and then the recommendation, but where I'm coming from is I saw the LPP supported the Unity Party at the end of the second round of the 2023 elections. I'm sure those were things on your mind when you supported the Unity Party and they won the elections. Is this something that you expected to be addressed from the onset of the government, but that's not happening? That is why you're coming to the press, or why you think?
I think recently there was a commission set up and they were talking about mobilizing revenue. The result I saw was discouraging because they're talking about 5% royalties. But there's already a percentage collected on royalties anyway on diamond, gold. We think 5% is not the kind of money we need. Two, what's the purpose of exporting raw materials? We're not producing to add value before selling it. We're not employing more people. Why can't we have tax when in fact there were tax in the past? Even during summer kind of time, 25% on rubber. So why we can't have it today? What's the purpose of saying we can't tax raw material, not finished goods? And mind you, the Revenue Authority, in their book, they recommended that the government should take over the gold mining and the diamond mining activities. Why? It is difficult to have dealers to bring the correct value to the ministry or to Liberia because the borders are porous. It is easy to get away with diamond and gold through the borders, and the officers will not find you. It will be very difficult. That's why the Revenue Authority suggested that. Why the government is not implementing that, I don't know. That will not consider in their new proposal they made with the 5% increase in royalty payments. That was not included.
Yes.
Thank you.
So my name is Willie Desmond and I report for Global Dream Radio. So if the government fails to levy the 10%, what will be the party next action?
I will discuss that with the National Executive Committee. For me to project any information here without the authority from the National Executive Committee, I will get into trouble.
Yeah, just to add up to what he said, recommendations on appeal is in the purview of to whom you are recommending and to whom you appeal. So as he said, if the concerned people don't adhere to your request, you said you're going to get back into the chambers and discuss error. But I'm also concerned. Is there any time frame for the recommendations for the reviews?
We're dealing with the whole government. We can't put time frame on it. We will hope the fourth state will get involved. When you don't have revenue, when you don't have money in the house, there's chaos. Right now, your debt is going to 3 billion. Do you want that? There's a solution to that. And we're saying one of the solutions is increase the tax on raw material, not finished goods, raw material. That's not difficult to do. Now, if my candidates, my diamond candidates were elected, Tiawan Gonglo and Dr. Yabawo, That will be one of the first things we'll do after dealing with agriculture. Why will you be taxing bread that the children can eat to go to school? They can eat for breakfast. You tax it, but you can't tax raw material that the Japanese are enjoying, the Koreans are enjoying. Are Liberians not important?
What do you foresee in that?
Huh?
What do you foresee in that?
What do I foresee in what?
What are responsible for that?
What is responsible? We have to act. It's our responsibility to inform the government that this is possible. It's not expensive. You're just saying that Bridgestone paid 100 million for advertisement. So 11 million is nothing. It's just there by 10% of the 100 million. So we can convince them. Call them to a meeting, sit down and tell them that, look, this is where we are. We can't continue to borrow. And mind you, every time you borrow money, the day they come to cancel it, go back to the 4.7 billion that was canceled in 2010. What did we lose? Do you think we gave it free? No, sir. That's why we mortgage our country. That's why 64 of the 66 concessional agreements were fraudulent, because we were in rush to beg for money. So we closed our eyes. Anything they gave us, we took it because we wanted money so quick. And tomorrow, it will go to 5 billion, and they come to reorganize or restructure the loan, or maybe to cancel it. There will be other issues. Let me add that to you. Let me add also to that. Today, National Port Authority is actually privatized. Why? You got two management at National Port Authority. You got a foreign manager and you got a local manager. In fact, in my mind, that local manager should not be there because we're only wasting money. The people who are doing the job, APM, they got a managing director and they got board of directors. So why should we have? But again, because we are restructuring our debt, they told us we have to sell all state-owned entities. Yes, sir.
Yeah, Robert Chair, my name is Gerald from British Africa. We talk about the imposition of the tax on the raw materials. Most of these companies, when they are negotiating the concession with the government, they call for tax break because of the instability in prices of commodities, and taking into consideration they have to employ your people. So imposing or increasing this tax, are you taking into consideration that there could be some negative implication regarding your people being out of job?
I just addressed that. That is most likely put forward when you have finished goods. The argument is when you sell finished goods and you add tax, it becomes expensive. And therefore your competitors will kick you out of the market because your goods become expensive, right? That's the argument. But I'm saying to you in this case, your goods is sold to one person, which happens to be the parent. So that argument doesn't exist in terms of raw material. Yes, it's going to be expensive, but it's not. That's not Firestone product anymore. When Firestone exported to Bridgestone, it's not Firestone product anymore. It is Bridgestone product. It is Bridgestone that will use the raw material to produce tires, which cost is going to be an insignificant amount. So that argument doesn't hold when it comes to raw material. There's a huge debate on it. I mean, they put that argument out. Again, let me just address some question that you're not asking. Some people will say, oh, it is within the concessionary agreement. If it is there and we can change it, so be it. But when we impose the tax, we'll be looking at new companies that come in. This particular tax was removed before even some of the new agreements were signed. Like, for example, Metal Steel. I think it was canceled around 2006. Metal Steel came in around 2010, 2011. So I don't think there was any reason to think about the export tax when in fact there was no tax law that, if at all they were smart to address it. We can't fight them, we leave it. But other entities that come in, like the Chinese company that want to do the refinery, if we have raw material, we tax it. Other people who are now producing raw material, we tax it. But we should make sure to do that because, look, our revenue be around 500 million from 2016 to 2023. Look at it. Most of the amount that see there, that's nothing but loan. We can't develop that way. We cannot. And all of us are sitting here thinking that we're doing well. We're not doing well. If our children can't go to school because we don't have money to build the school, we don't have money for clinics, we are not doing well.
All right.
So
this is how we come to the end of this.
we have come to the end. Thank you,
Thanks for
ladies and
following. My
gentlemen,
name is Prince.
member of the press.
Bye-bye.
Thank you for coming to our press conference.